Kunja Bihari Radha Madhava Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Radha Madhava Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivara Dhari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivara Dhari Yashodanandana Vrajana Randana Yashodanandana Vrajana Randana Jamuna Tira Vanam Sari Jamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivara Dhari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivara Dhari Yashodanandana Vrajana Randana Yashodanandana Vrajana Randana Jamuna Tira Vanachari Jamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Jaya Radha Madhava Radha Madhava Radhe, 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 Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Prabhupada. Gauda Pimanande. Hari Hari Bol. Jayam Vishnupada Paramahamsa Tri Vrajāgacāja Stotara Satya Sri Srimad His Divine Grace Srila Boy Charanaravinda Bhakti Vedanta Swami Sri Prabhupada Ki
Jai.
Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki
Jai.
Skandiviti Founder Acharyas Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada Ki
Jai.
Namacharya Sri Haridas Thakur Ki
Jai.
Samavata Bhakta Vrinda Ki
Jai.
Harinama Sankirtana Ki
Jai.
Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam Ki
Jai.
Jai Nitai Gauda Simanande. All glorious to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to Sri Guru and to Sri Gauranga. All glories to Srila Prabhupada ki. Bienvenue. Welcome.
Thank you.
When did you come?
Pardon?
When you came?
Oh, about a week and a half ago.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
That's okay.
I just made it.
Very happy to see you. Yes. Om Ajnanatirmirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Taksuranmilitam Jena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha Sri Chaitanya Manobhistam Stapitam Jena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Juta Parakamalam Sri Gurun Vaishnavam Sya Sri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Ragunatam Vitam Tvam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Sri Visakanditam Sya He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vanchakalpa Tarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhyaiva Cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Narayanam Namaskritya Dharam Shaiva Narottamam Devim Sarasatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudirayet. Before reciting the Srimad Bhagavatam, which is our very means of conquest, let us first offer our respectful obeisances unto Narayana, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, unto Narayana Rishi, the supremmost human being, unto Mother Saraswati, the Goddess of Learning, and unto Srila Vyasadeva, the author. Nasta prayesha badreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Tamashloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naistiki. By regularly hearing the Srimad Bhagavatam and by rendering a service unto the pure devotee, all that is troublesome within the heart becomes destroyed or practically to nil, and loving devotional service unto the Supreme Lord, who is praised with transcendental songs, it becomes established as an irrevocable fact. Idam Bhagavatam Nama Puranam Brahmasamitam Uttama Shloka Charitam Sakara Bhagavan Rishi Nishreyasaya Lokasya Dhanyam Swasyayanam Mahat. This Srimad Bhagavatam, known as the Grantaraj, the king of all Vedic literatures, is the literary incarnation of God. It is compiled by the incarnation of God, Srila Vyasadeva. It is meant for the ultimate good of all people. It is all successful, all blissful, and all perfect. Sri Kṛṣṇa Chaitanya
Chaitanya,
Prabhu Nityananda
Prabhu Nityananda,
Sri Advaita Gadadhara
Advaita Gadadhara,
Sri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda
Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda,
Hare Krishna Hare Krishna
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Krishna Krishna Hare
Krishna
Hare
Krishna, Hare
Hare
Hare,
Rama Hare Rama
Hare Rama, Hare Rama,
Rama Rama Hare Hare
Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Surabhyay Namaha
Om Surabhyaya Namaha.
Om Surabhyay Namaha
Om Surabhyaya Namaha.
Om Surabhyay Namaha
Om Surabhyaya Namaha.
Mukam karoti vachalam pangum langayate girim yatkripa tamaham bande Sri Gurum Dinataranam yatkripa tamaham bande Sri Gurum Dinataranam. Hare Krishna. So welcome everyone to our morning Bhagavatam class. We are reading
Get closer, so we can-
closer. Yes, yes. We all want to become closer to Krishna.
That's it.
We have started, that's actually since your departure, a new chapter, which is chapter 10. The previous two chapters, actually prayers of Queen Kunti, and then after that, chapter 9, the departure of Bhishma Dev, and chapter 10 now is the departure of Lord Kṛṣṇa for Dvārakā. Kṛṣṇa is going to Dvārakā, yes. But before that, we are getting some insight as to how King Yudhiṣṭhira Mahārāja, who after the battle of Kurukshetra, of course, was enthroned as the new emperor of the world. And Shaunaka Rishi in the beginning of this chapter is asking Sutta Goswami, what did he do? How did he do? How did he rule? Because the Pandavas, as we know, were put in all kinds of distressful conditions, to say the least, for so many years. We calculated more or less for about, how many years?
80 years.
About 80 years,
80?
80, approximately. How did we calculate that?
Yes, I was.
Good question. Yeah. So, since they were put into distressful condition by especially Duryodhana and company, all of his brothers, and that was all sanctioned, swaha, by Dhritarashtra. It was from the time they lost Pandu. They were small boys, isn't it? So when they lost Pandu, Kunti Devi, with her 5 little boys, they went to Hastinapur to take shelter, because they had, and of course Bhishma Dev was their protector, but Duryodhana was their rival. And so they were boys, we calculated maybe they were about 10 average, let's say. Let's say Arjuna was 10 or so. I don't know exactly. Part of the research you're supposed to do. So from the age of 10, let's say, when they went to the palace to take shelter, until the battle of Kurukshetra is about 80 years. Yeah, because Kṛṣṇa was, how old was Kṛṣṇa? 95. but he doesn't look 95. Look, yeah. So Kṛṣṇa, with the battle of Kurukshetra, Kṛṣṇa was 95, and Arjuna and Kṛṣṇa are about the same age. So that's how we kind of a little bit speculated on the age, because we don't know exactly, but somebody can find out. So, so here we're just beginning. Sutta Goswami is answering the question of Shonaka Rishi and beginning to explain how Yudhiṣṭhira Maharaj ruled his kingdom. And well, we won't go back to the verses, but today is what, 4, right?
Yes.
Yeah, 4. Yesterday, actually, the main point was that Yudhiṣṭhira Maharaj, whatever he did, whatever activities he performed, it was all under the guidance of the good instructions that he had received from Grandfather Bhishmadev, naturally, on his bed of arrows. And because Grandfather Bhishmadev spoke the absolute truth, because Vedic knowledge is absolute knowledge, perfect knowledge, because it is given by Kṛṣṇa. So therefore, because he received perfect knowledge and followed and applied that perfect knowledge, therefore his ruling the kingdom was also perfect. How it was perfect, we will now begin to understand. Yeah. Okay. Oh my God. This is the verse, very important verse that Prabhupada quotes a lot, actually. And you will definitely appreciate this verse. I know. Kṛṣṇa has sent you this morning for this verse, like he did last time also. Isn't it? Kṛṣṇa is pulling all the strings. You'll recognize this verse. Kāmaṁ vavarṣa parjanyaḥ sarva-kāma-dughā mahī siṣicuḥ vrajān gāvaḥ payasodhasvatīr mudā kāmaṁ vavarṣa parjanyaḥ sarva-kāma-dughā mahī siṣicuḥ vrajān gāvaḥ payasodhasvatīr mudā kāmaṁ vavarṣa parjanyaḥ sarva-kāma-dughā mahī siṣicuḥ vrajān gāvaḥ payasodhasvatīr mudā kāmaṁ vavarṣa parjanyaḥ sarva-kāma-dughā mahī siṣicuḥ vrajān gāvaḥ payasodhasvatīr mudā
kāmaṁ vavarṣa parjanyaḥ
sarva-kāma-dughā mahī siṣicuḥ vrajān gāvaḥ payasodhasvatīr mudā. Bolo, bolo.
Kāmaṁ vavarṣa
parjanyaḥ
sarva-kāma-dughā mahī siṣicuḥ vrajān gāvaḥ
payasodhasvatīr
payasodhasvatīr mudā.
payasodhasvatīr mudā.
kāmaṁ vavarṣa parjanyaḥ.
Kāmaṁ vavarṣa parjanyaḥ.
sarva-kāma-dughā mahī.
sarva-kāma-dughā mahī.
siṣicuḥ vrajān gāvaḥ.
siṣicuḥ vrajān gāvaḥ.
payasodhasvatīr mudā.
payasodhasvatīr mudā.
kāmaṁ vavarṣa parjanyaḥ.
Kāmaṁ vavarṣa parjanyaḥ.
sarva-kāma-dughā mahī.
sarva-kāma-dughā mahī.
siṣicuḥ vrajān gāvaḥ.
siṣicuḥ vrajān gāvaḥ.
payasodhasvatīr mudā.
payasodhasvatīr mudā. Kāmaṁ,
kāmaṁ.
everything needed.
Everything needed.
Vavarṣa,
vavarṣa.
was showered.
Was showered.
Parjanyaḥ,
parjanyaḥ.
rains.
Rains.
Sarva,
sarva.
everything.
Everything.
Kāma,
kāma.
necessities.
Necessities.
Dughā,
dughā.
producer.
Producer.
Mahī,
mahī.
the land.
The land.
siṣicuḥ,
siṣicuḥ.
sma, moisten.
moisten.
vrajān,
vrajān.
pasturing grounds.
pasturing ground.
gāvaḥ,
gāvaḥ.
the cow.
cow.
payasodhasvatīr,
payasodhasvatīr.
due to swollen milk bags.
Due to swollen bags.
mudā,
mudā.
because of a joyful attitude.
Because of a joyful
Joyful
attitude.
attitude.
The right verse, huh? Now you wait till you hear the purport. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki.
Jai.
During the reign of Mahārāja Yudhiṣṭhira, the clouds showered all the water that people needed, and the earth produced all the necessities of man in profusion, due to its fatty milk bag and a cheerful attitude. The cow used to moisten the grazing ground with milk. Haribol. Kindly repeat after me. During the reign of Mahārāja Yudhiṣṭhira,
During the reign of Mahārāja Yudhiṣṭhira,
the clouds showered
the clouds showered
all the water that people needed,
all the water that people needed,
and the earth produced
and the earth produced
all the necessities
all the
All the
necessities
necessities
of man
of man
in profusion,
in profusion,
due to its fatty milk bag
due to its fatty milk bag
and cheerful attitude.
and cheerful attitude.
The cow used to moisten
The cow used to moisten
the grazing ground
the grazing land
with milk.
with milk.
Purport. This is a short sentence, a very powerful sentence, and the last two nouns in the sentence are in italic. It's in English, but it's in italic to underscore and highlight. So here we go. The basic principle of economic development is centered on land and cows. Yes. Krishi Goraksha, Vanijam, Vaishya Karma Swabhavajam. The necessities of human society are food grains, fruits, milk, minerals, clothing, wood, etc. One requires all these items to fulfill the material needs of the body. Certainly, one does not require flesh and fish or iron tools and machinery. During the regime of Mahārāja Yudhiṣṭhira, all over the world, there were regulated rainfalls. Regulated rainfalls. Rainfalls are not in the control of the human being. The heavenly king, Indradeva, is the controller of rains, and he is the servant of the Lord. When the Lord is obeyed by the king and the people under the king's administration, there are regulated rains from the horizon, and these rains are the causes of all varieties of production on the land. Not only do regulated rains help ample production of grains and fruits, but when they combine with astronomical influences, there is ample production of valuable stones and pearls. A lost or forgotten science, unknown science. Grains and vegetables can sumptuously feed a man and animals, and a fatty cow delivers enough milk to supply a man sumptuously with vigor and vitality. If there is enough milk, enough grains, enough fruit, enough cotton, enough silk, and enough jewels, then why do the people need cinemas, houses of prostitution, slaughterhouses, etc.? What is the need of an artificial, luxurious life of cinema, cars, radio, flesh, and hotels? Has this civilization produced anything but quarreling individually and nationally? Has this civilization enhanced the cause of equality and fraternity by sending thousands of men into a hellish factory and the war fields at the whims of a particular man? It is said here that the cows used to moisten the pasturing land with milk because their milk bags were fatty and the animals were joyful. Do they not require, therefore, proper protection for a joyful life by being fed with a sufficient quantity of grass in the field? Why should men kill cows for their selfish purposes? Why should man not be satisfied with grains, fruits, and milk, which, combined together, can produce hundreds and thousands of palatable dishes? Why are there slaughterhouses all over the world to kill innocent animals? Maharaj Parikshit, grandson of Mahārāja Yudhiṣṭhira, while touring his vast kingdom, saw a black man attempting to kill a cow. The king at once arrested the butcher and chastised him sufficiently. Should not a king or executive head protect the lives of the poor animals who are unable to defend themselves? Is this humanity? Are not the animals of a country citizens also? Then why are they allowed to be butchered in organized slaughterhouses? Are these the signs of equality, fraternity, and nonviolence? Therefore, in contrast with the modern, advanced, civilized form of government, an autocracy like Mahārāja Yudhiṣṭhira's is by far superior to a so-called democracy in which animals are killed and a man less than an animal is allowed to cast votes for another less than animal man. Hare Krishna. It's voting time in different countries. We are all creatures of material nature. In the Bhagavad Gita, it is said that the Lord himself is the seed-giving father, and material nature is the mother of all beings in all shapes. Thus, Mother Material Nature has enough foodstuff, both for animals and for men, by the grace of the Father Almighty, Sri Kṛṣṇa. The human being is the elder brother of all other living beings. He is endowed with intelligence more powerful than animals for realizing the course of nature and the indications of the Almighty Father. Human civilizations should depend on the production of material nature without artificially attempting economic development to turn the world into a chaos of artificial greed and power, only for the purpose of artificial luxuries and sense gratification. This is but the life of dogs and hogs. Period.
That should be read at the United Nations
Every day.
every day.
Translation again. During the reign of Mahārāja Yudhiṣṭhira, the clouds showered all the water that people needed, and the earth produced all the necessities of man in profusion. Due to his fatty milk bag and cheerful attitude, the cow used to moisten the grazing ground with milk. A very powerful text and a very powerful purport given by Srila Prabhupada. And it is so true. Actually, when this purport was written, which goes back maybe some 50 years or so, the word in the purport, Prabhupada repeats the word at least 4 times, artificial. 50 years ago, artificial intelligence was not discussed very much. I think Prabhupada would have put it in the purport also. How anything artificial, including artificial intelligence, with all of the hype that people are, presenting that, oh, it's giving us so many benefits, we can do so many wonderful things, etc. But artificial intelligence, I don't want to get into a whole discussion for the whole class, but it's part of the whole artificial modern setup. Anything artificial is artificial. Is it not?
It's not real.
Yeah, it's artificial. So anything artificial, anything that's not real, cannot last.
What do they mean? What does it mean, artificial intelligence?
Artificial intelligence.
I mean, how is it possible? I don't understand what they mean by it.
Artificial intelligence means that by computers, they can, they're creating robots. And they are using computers to do so many things that humans can do, but artificial intelligence, because they're using massive computers, massive data, they have programs where if you enter like a few words or ask a few questions, then you can get your whole thesis. And yeah, that's only part of what is possible. In other words, it's just like if somebody does a research, has a paper to write or wants to write an article, then we'll read so many different books, we'll speak to so many people, etc., and then he will start to compose, his thesis. So with artificial intelligence, you can have the computer through this programming. It's all through programmings that gets all of this data and writes your different paragraphs in a very orderly, systematic way. So much so that it seems like it's written by somebody. That's one of so many things that. So it's like, but it's not natural. So again, as you rightly say, artificial intelligence, being artificial, goes against nature. I mean, ultimately, it goes against dharma. Why? Because dharma is based on what is natural. Dharma means what is our original nature. And dharma is created by Kṛṣṇa. Artificial intelligence is created by humans.
It's just a combination of facts.
Yeah, it's just bringing everything together. So now,
there's no realization.
Correct. Yes. Yeah. It's like the material world, It's illusion. It's a beautiful, attractive illusion. And when we fail to know, to understand, to realize our original nature, original spiritual nature, it's crazy. Some time back there was one article that one robot, which is run by artificial intelligence, committed suicide. Yeah, because he was, I guess, information, what do they call it? Overload, whatever, I don't know. I mean, it goes to that extent. It becomes like crazy. It's like you can have a friend who's a robot because other human beings don't have the time of the day to look after or to speak with you and whatnot. So main point is that, which is nicely being conveyed here, when things are done as they're meant to be done, means based on actual knowledge, based on based on perfect knowledge. Vedas are giving us perfect knowledge. Vedic knowledge, and this is a very important point actually, Vedic knowledge is not only revealing, giving us information about our natural, eternal, true identity, spiritual identity, which is spiritual, but also Vedic knowledge is giving us all the knowledge. Just like here it mentions in the purport, Prabhupada is telling, not only were rains, regulated rains, helping to produce unlimited foodstuff for both human beings and animals, but also regulated rains help in producing minerals and jewels, So, in other words, when there's a whole science, agriculture, these two things that Prabhupada is mentioning in the very first line, that human society, the whole economic solutions to humanity is based on Krishi Goraksha, isn't it? Agriculture. Because that is the one of the four Vedic sciences. Chaturvidya, Vedic culture is based on four standard sciences that are unchanging, because you need these four sciences for society to come together and to live properly and to meet its physical and mental, social and spiritual needs. And this is actually meant to be the subject matter of Varnashram College. And that's why Varnashram colleges, generally that is contained or that is within the knowledge provided in traditional Gurukul also. Because actually these four vidyas, we call four vidyas, four knowledges, or not four sciences actually. These four sciences are specifically to train the natural leaders. Again, not artificial leaders as we have today. These four sciences are meant to train the natural leaders in society. And who are the natural leaders in society? The Brahmanas,
Yes.
the Kshatriyas, and the Vaishyas. Why they are the natural leaders? Because everyone else who doesn't have that knowledge, who's actually not, because of their karma, we could say, because of the influence of the modes of material nature, are not able to, we could say, develop the type of understanding, are not able to have the kind of knowledge that one receives by taking up this kind of training and education to become a Brahmana, to become a Kshatriya, to become a Vaishya. Today, actually, no one who is in a position of very few, very, very few, who are in the position of spiritual leaders, who's in a position of a material leader as a president or king or prime minister, and for that matter also no one who's in a leadership position in terms of agriculture or production or business is actually qualified according to Vedic standards, you see, because they're called the Dvijas. So practically speaking, nobody in a leadership position in these three categories today is a Dvija. Because Dvija means it begins with having proper spiritual, philosophical knowledge, understanding. That's why the first of the four vidyas, which is called Anvikshiki, means the science of philosophy. So unless we have the proper, we call philosophy of life, isn't it? Devotees and Vedic knowledge is giving us, first and foremost, philosophy of life. Majority of people in the world today, before we came to Krishna consciousness, at least I'll speak for myself, before I came to Krishna consciousness, I was totally confused about what is life all about and who I am and what is the purpose of life. Philosophy, most people don't even know the meaning of philosophy. They never study philosophy. Or if they study philosophy, they study the wrong philosophy. So Vedic knowledge, the Vedas are especially giving us the philosophy means the science of in Western country is called metaphysics, right? There's physics, and metaphysics means above physics. In other words, as Kṛṣṇa explained in the 7th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita, what is the 7th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita? Verse 2, 7:2. Kṛṣṇa explains how I will now speak to you knowledge that is both spiritual and material. 7:2. Who found it? Read it.
Jnanam teham savigyavidam vakshyamasheshatah yajnanatvaneham bhuyo negya natavya shishyate.
Okay, read it. Since you have the book. Loudly.
So
I shall now. Go ahead, read it.
translation or with Sanskrit?
English. English
I
translation.
shall now declare unto you in full this knowledge, both phenomenal and
Numinous.
nominal.
Yes.
By knowing which there shall remain nothing further to be known.
Yes. So Krishna is telling Arjuna, I shall now reveal to you this knowledge, both phenomenal and numinous, which means material knowledge and spiritual knowledge. So Prabhupada would explain, knowledge means knowing the difference between matter and spirit, the origin of both, and the relationship between them. Isn't it? You
I
disagree?
don't want to be challenging, but
Be challenging will defeat you.
is it possible to actually train Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya
In Kali Yuga,
in Kali Yuga?
yes. Welcome to ISKCON. Now, Prabhupada set up the whole society with the idea of training, Kalo Shudra Sambhava. Okay, we're all born as Shudras in Kali Yuga, but it doesn't mean we are meant to remain Shudras, isn't it?
Right.
Yeah. Even somebody who's born in a Brahmana family, it's not that as soon as it comes out of the womb, because my mother and father are Brahmanas, that I'm a Brahmana. One has to go through the proper training and education, even somebody who's from Brahmanical background. So not anyone, everyone should be given the opportunity. Knowledge, education is open to everyone, but one must become qualified as a student to receive this knowledge, isn't it? This is very important aspect which is absent in modern day society. It's like teacher must be qualified, student must be qualified. They're all given in the Bhagavad Gita. Teacher must have 9 qualifications. Samadhamastapa Socham, the 9 qualifications of a Brahmana are the qualifications of a teacher. And one of those qualifications is that he must be astikam. He must believe in God. He must be religious. Yeah. And there are 3 qualities of a student. Tadvini pranipatina pari prasnena saveya. That verse is explaining what are the qualities. So therefore, anyone who has, as a teacher or as a student, these qualities, by proper association, by proper information or knowledge, one can gradually develop these qualities, isn't it? As a matter of fact, Narada Muni in 7th Canto of the Bhagavatam, chapter 11, when he speaks about the perfect, Hare Krishna, very brave. When he delineates, he gives what are the 30 qualities. It's in 2 or 3 verses. What are the 30 qualities expected that are meant to be developed in the human form of life, isn't it? And he begins by these 4 qualities. Satyam, Daya, Tapa, Saucham, which are based on the 4 principles that we all follow as devotees. So, okay, Kali Yuga is a fallen age, and people in Kali Yuga are fallen people. But by coming in contact with proper persons, like we came in contact with this knowledge through Srila Prabhupada as a pure devotee of the Lord, and those who took up this knowledge, stopped performing these sinful activities, at least some of them. It means it is possible, I won't ask anyone here any questions about, when's the last time you drank alcohol, but it's possible to stop smoking. I mean, it's possible to stop, isn't it?
Right.
Yeah.
It will be a gradual.
Absolutely. Yes.
But if we stay with it, then eventually.
Yes.
It's like.
Yes.
There are 10 trained real Kshatriya devotees who are protectors, who are not
Where are they?
I don't know. But I'm pretending. So from them, more can be trained,
Yes, yes,
and it just keeps increasing.
yes, absolutely.
Maharaj, in connection to this, like in the 7th canto, Sri Narada Muni describes also the ashramas.
Yes,
And for example, the brahmachari ashram, it's very like the brahmachari should wear the tree bark. Like he defines what does it mean brahmachari, but
yes.
we cannot follow this in today's age.
No, that is, there are primary and secondary instructions. Wearing tree bark is a secondary instruction.
But even like living,
Fortunately.
living in the ashram of Guru in ISKCON, it's
No, living in ashram of Guru, there are two ways in terms of most, we could say Gurukul boys, traditionally, yeah, they would go to the house of Guru. And Guru was a householder. But there were also ashrams where Guru was sannyasi, or older brahmachari, or someone who was vanaprastha. Because vanaprastha is of two kinds, means one can take vanaprastha with his wife. Husband and wife, they become totally detached from family life, or just the male or the husband takes vanaprastha. With generally, of course, with the consent of the wife, and the children are grown up like that. So, so we need to differentiate what is a primary and secondary instruction. The primary instructions in terms of brahmacharya life are as valid today as they were previously. But one of the most important features of brahmacharya life is abstinence, isn't it? Total abstinence from sex life, which is based, of course, on discipline, tapasya. Tapasya brahmacharyena samenacha damenacha means learning to control from a young age one's mind and one's senses. And that's why in the essay Gita Nagari that Prabhupada wrote way back in 56, Prabhupada mentions how, and we're going to be following this in our Gurukul, boys not older than 7 years of age will be admitted in the Gurukul. Because the younger one is, then the more easily, the more quickly one can actually become nicely trained. Yeah. And so the basic principles are there. It's like vanaprastha. Well, vanaprastha means vana, forest. We've cut most of our forests, so people cannot take vanaprastha. There are no forests to go to. But we need to understand the symbolic meaning of vanaprastha, which means to actually become detached from family life and to become more. It's like, in one sense, it's becoming again like brahmachari, isn't it? As a matter of fact, in vanaprastha, very often they will take on saffron color. Mataji will shave her head, and they will wear. I mean, we don't have any formal kind of system yet.
We should.
We should. Yeah. Just like we need to. That's Prabhupada gave us those instructions. You introduce Brahmana culture. You introduce Kshatriya culture. You introduce Vaishya culture. You introduce also Shudra culture, because that is how we become human being. If one is not living or taking responsibilities within the system of Varna and Asrama, within Varnasrama, he's not considered civilized. Isn't it? Civilization begins when we recognize, acknowledge, and follow the system of Varna and Asrama. And therefore, when we've not done this, actually, But the idea is that once we formulate the curriculum for these different varnas and provide the necessary training and education, then individuals will be known, just like now in ISKCON also. If somebody spends a few years serving within the society, if someone takes certain like Bhakti Shastri courses so that he becomes knowledgeable, and after a certain period of time, then one may be recommended for, Brahmana, after Harinam, one may be recommended for Brahminical initiation. So then, we have individuals who are known as Brahmanas. Okay, they may not be possibly at the highest level, for example, Brahmanas, or they may not meet all of the criterias, because generally Brahmana is not supposed to work in terms of earning money, isn't it? Brahmana is meant to share the knowledge that he has acquired, and he's meant to live on dakshina. Now, we don't have that culture now, and most of our brahmanas are working, but that is not the ideal, isn't it? Yeah. So yeah, it will take, as you mentioned, gradually. Prabhupada did mention how Krishna consciousness is a gradual process, and how to actually restore. One of our important goals is to help restore Vedic culture. So it begins with the first line of this purport, that the proper because society is based on economy ultimately. Majority of people majority of people are householders. Majority of people are looking for kama and artha, for meeting their necessities of life. Kama doesn't mean only sense gratification in terms of unrestricted sense gratification as we generally understand it. Kama, for example, here, the word kama is translated as necessities. Sarva-kāma-dughā mahī. All of our necessities of life is like every day. At a certain time of the day, the stomach starts to grumble if you don't put something in it. Yeah, we have, at the end of the day, the body is tired. We have to give it some rest. These are material necessities of life. And Vedic knowledge gives us all the information how to best provide for those necessities. And that's why Grandfather Bhishmadev was telling in the previous chapter, in beginning to answer, or in beginning to actually instruct Yudhiṣṭhira Maharaj, that this system of Varna and Ashrama has been given to us, in the Vedas, but ultimately by Kṛṣṇa, to accelerate. Prabhupada uses this phrase, expression, to accelerate our becoming Krishna conscious, to accelerate our ability to actually become more and more spiritual, which is directly what Prabhupada also mentioned, that in order to become Vaishnava, Varnashram is there to actually facilitate one to actually become Vaishnava. You see. So this is one of those texts and purports that you want to frame, and kind of like give it as a gift, to the people in the United Nations, to all the prime ministers around the world, all people who are big businessmen and whatnot. They need to hear. So all this information, all this knowledge is there, hidden. Hidden means it's there for it's like open secret. It's not like hidden in terms of not accessible. It is open secret. The whole Bhagavad Gita knowledge, Srimad Bhagavatam, and that is where we as devotees, as aspiring Vaishnavas, are trying to understand, trying to share this knowledge, this information. The more people know about this knowledge, the more people take up the process recommended in the Shastra, then this natural situation, this natural transformation from artificial to real, to natural, from unnatural to natural, from artificial. What's the antonym of artificial? Real, right? True, whatever. Yeah. So we have to become true to ourselves.
There are devotees now that are actually using artificial intelligence, I think,
My God,
computers to make pictures of Kṛṣṇa.
I heard. You have some in your book?
I've seen them.
No. Do you have some in your book?
A book?
Your book.
No, I don't.
Okay. Congratulations.
I'm sorry, I'm not hearing.
Yeah, that's okay.
correctly.
Yeah.
I
She
mean,
has a wonderful book.
Oh, Bhakti Milk.
Yeah.
Yes.
You have more books?
Have I read it? Of course I've read it.
No, you're working on another book.
Yes, oh.
Okay. Okay.
He's the
Okay.
artist.
Okay. Won't ask any
I've had a
questions.
few interruptions this
Yeah.
year.
Yes.
But I'm not forgetting it.
Okay. Bhakti Milk. She wrote a wonderful book. Initially, she thought, if I'm not mistaken, of calling it Ahimsa Milk.
Right.
But then Kṛṣṇa, Dadami Buddhi Yogam Tam, Kṛṣṇa gave her a nice inspiration. She'd call it Bhakti Milk. So her book is called Bhakti Milk. It's on Amazon, and it's for the taking.
And it's printed by
Bhaktivedanta by
Varnashram.
Varnashrama Book Trust.
Yes.
Yeah, Varnashrama Book Trust. Nice connection. Any questions, comments, objections? Yes.
You talked about the qualities of a teacher.
The qualities of a teacher.
Yes, but what the qualities of a student?
What are the qualities of?
Student.
Student.
Yeah.
You can find them in fourth chapter.
4.34.
Read it. Tadvidi pranipatena, the last verse of the fourth chapter. One is pranipat, having mental, means being humble, being mentally properly disposed. And then Kṛṣṇa, being inquisitive, and seva. Read the verse.
तत् विधि प्रणिपातेन परिप्रश्नेन सेवया उपदेशयन्ति ते ज्ञानं
Jnaninas tattva darshinaha.
ज्ञानस्तत्त्व दर्शिनः.
Yes.
Translation.
Translate.
Just try to learn the truth by approaching a spiritual master, inquire from him submissively, and render service unto him. The self-realized soul can impart knowledge unto you because he has seen the truth.
Yes. So if you break down, those are the three. Submissiveness. One must approach someone who has some knowledge with a submissive mind. In other words, this person or this book has something that I don't have, isn't it? And then inquisitiveness, prashna, and then seva. One must render service. These are the three qualities that someone who is meant to be an ideal student must have. Must have that quality of being submissive, must have that quality of wanting to know, and must have that quality of what is called, Prabhupada would say, service attitude, seva, which is the essence and the common quality and the common factor, the common denominator for all of us, isn't it? nitya siddha. Kṛṣṇa bhakti, the essence of bhakti actually is seva. So Kṛṣṇa bhakti nitya siddha, it is our eternal. So if one has these three qualities, then only then in the Vedic culture will a teacher or guru accept one as disciple or impart knowledge. Yeah. And therefore in modern day society, we don't have teachers who have these 9 qualities, and we don't have students who have the 3 qualities. And therefore, it's a recipe for disaster. And that's what's happening.
Actually, the lack of that quality is one of the things that things is not the right word that brought on Kali Yuga. The puffed up son of the Brahmana who insulted Mahārāja Parikṣit.
Yes.
Prabhupada says in one purport that.
Yes. That's how Kali infiltrated or started. Yes, when we are lacking in any one of these qualities, then we will not get the desired result. Correct. Yeah. So therefore, we were discussing how the common understanding in the context of education is that education is everyone's right. Is that right?
That we want to what?
The common understanding amongst most people, maybe amongst devotees also, I don't know, is that education is everyone's right.
Oh, yes.
So I'm asking, is that right or not right?
It depends. If one is meant to be a Vaishya, then he has no right to be educated as a Brahmana. He should be educated as a Vaishya. It should be according to the quality of the person.
Yes. Actually, not only for Vaishya, the idea is that knowledge or education is meant to be seen not as a right, because I must become qualified. It's a privilege.
If you qualify.
If you qualify. For example, it's not everyone's right to live in a temple. According to qualification, it's a privilege actually to live in the temple, isn't it? It's not everyone's right to storm the gates of heaven or to enter the spiritual world. It's based on qualification, based on privilege. That's a privilege. So it's a privilege to receive education. And therefore, that's very prominent aspect of Vedic system of education, where a teacher will choose his student, not some board of education like that. Yeah. Okay. I think we can close for now. Jai Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki. Jai Srila Prabhupada ki. Gauda